Good afternoon, everybody. I'll give you some thoughts on this week's Torah portion, something that you can think about, something that you can ponder as we look at this next portion in the book of Numbers. This particular portion is called Beha'alot Tikah. Beha'alot Tikah. As in every Torah portion, there are so many things that are detailed, and you try to pull something out that is significant from among so much. This goes from chapter 8 all through the mid part of chapter 12. So you've got 4 chapters to pull from. So I looked at this particular Torah portion and I decided to focus on the fact that one of the key things that is detailed in this Torah portion is the menorah. Okay, the standard menorah, not the menorah for Hanukkah, but the actual 7-branch menorah. So that's where I put my focus in this week's Devar Torah. So light. Usually about 12 hours of our 24-day, at least in the summer months, but a little less than that in the winter months. Light. It's necessary for our eyes to focus on reading a book, reading a newspaper, reading a magazine. Light. Required for us to be able to endlessly browse our computer or look at our cell phone screens. Without the light, we wouldn't see them. Light. Essential to the proper growth of humans, the proper growth of animals, and certainly to the proper growth of plants. Light. Important if we are planning to do any driving after the sun sets, for sure. Light. Needed to allay the fears of children who do fear what they cannot see in the corners of their bedrooms or in their closets. Light. Essential if we are hoping to adequately identify a human being or even an object. Hard to identify what we cannot see. The menorah, the symbol of Israel, the Jewish state. It gives light, it burns brightly with its many flames. The details of the Temple Menorah are set forth by God in this Torah portion. As I read the details, I was struck by how a symbol that provides light has been a constant symbol of the Jewish people for thousands of years. When looking at the building that houses the Knesset, one can clearly see the menorah displayed as you enter the structure. This further had me thinking about the significance of light to us as Jews and also to the population in general. Light is one of the first elements of creation as we begin the reading of the Torah back in Genesis. Yes, there is darkness, but now creation has given us a way to dispel darkness, a way to see more clearly. We have sun shining brightly in the day, but even the stars and the moon that do shine more dimly once darkness descends still provide light. When we as Jews enter into our covenant with God, we are commanded by God to behave to all the peoples of the world as a light unto the nations. Light. God has placed a trust in us as that light, and we will lead on a path of righteousness and a path of justice. When God decided to punish the Egyptians for their enslavement of the Hebrews, one of the ways that God does so is by inflicting extreme and terrifying darkness upon the land of Egypt, a darkness so severe that a person cannot make out his or her own hand in front of his or her own face. Darkness conveys fear and it conveys terror to us. When we cannot discern what is in front of us or identify where we are, we become disoriented and we may even go into panic. We fervently hope and pray for light to offer us the comfort and the security that we seek. Even in this portion, when God wants to make his presence known to the people after they have finished the construction of the tabernacle, he reassures them by fire after nightfall. Fire, which provides a light, and it lets them know that they are not abandoned to the evil that may lurk in the darkness. When the rabbis codified the celebration of Hanukkah, it was not so much the war that they wanted to celebrate, but more so the oil that miraculously, according to legend, lasted 8 days. After the dark period of the defilement of the temple, it was rededicated And the primary symbol of that rededication is the Hanukkah, the 8-branched menorah, which fills our homes with light during the darker days of the winter season. Light carries with it so much connotation that is positive, that is uplifting, and that is good. We revel in the light of joy while we sink to the darkest depths of despair. When we choose to celebrate a simcha, so much of how we decorate revolves around bright, shiny things that reflect and that suggest light. When we are ready to begin the peace and quiet of weekly Shabbat, we begin by lighting candles, which offer a glow, a light to our dining table and to our homes. Even as we try each in our own individual ways to figure out our own concepts of God, most often those concepts revolve around light. We often envision a God who can guide us by light and offer us a way to a path in life that is bright with ideas, with goals, and with promises. Light is a symbol of hope, a symbol of a bright future, a symbol of guidance. When the Jews are commanded to construct and to light the menorah, God is putting his imprint on the significance of light as one of his chief symbols. We see the Star of David on the Israeli flag. We observe mezuzot as we enter people's homes or other Jewish spaces. We see the Hamsa as a symbol of good mazel or good luck, hanging on people's doorways or hanging from the rearview mirrors of their cars. But it is the menorah that we see standing before Israel's government building. It is that symbol of light that was selected to be the shining example of the Jewish state. It seems fitting that as a people who are commanded to be a light unto the nations of the world, that a menorah would be the defining symbol of who we are as the Jewish people. So those are just some words about the symbolism of light, the importance of light. And the menorah, which is the symbol of the Jewish state, it is what stands before the Knesset if you go to the Knesset building. And so light is significant to us as Jews. So much of what we do has to do with light, the lighting of candles. We celebrate light. Light is what guides us. Light is what gives us hope. So hopefully these words will give you something to think about as you realize that in this Torah portion, it is God who commands the building and the lighting of the menorah, that symbol, which becomes the symbol of the Jewish people for thousands and thousands of years, and it is still our symbol today. I wish you all Shabbat Shalom. I wish you all peace, and I wish you a great weekend and a happy Memorial Day weekend at that.